large extent, have assurances that they will be rescued.
Hope rises in rescue mission of abducted GSSS Kankara students as 2 students escaped from captivity.
And so if a state decides to take action on lockdown and it feels that yes, it will be enforced, then the state has also a right to do that.
New spike in coronavirus cases. National Economic Council considers another lockdown.
Nigeria does not have unified data for the surveillance of maternal death to track causes of this death and subsequently prevent it.
The Senate considers maternal mortality bill to reverse alarming deaths rate.
When neighboring country enter and buy goods from us.
And as 4 land borders reopen, traders commend federal government's decision. This is NTA Network News live from Abuja. I am Kenan Ima Abulike and Michael Olaleye joins us from Lagos. Security agencies in the country are stepping up efforts to rescue the missing students of Government Science Secondary School Kankara from their abductors. Some parents of the missing GSSS students have also expressed optimism on their rescue as they jubilate with those currently rejoicing over their escape of their wounds. 4 of the jubilant parents have released pictures of the children and their identities. Mujahid Abdul Hamid is one of the 17 students who escaped on Tuesday and has since reunited with his family. Zaharaddin Umar and Aliyu Abubakar are also part of the group that made their escape on Tuesday and found their way home to their loved ones. While these efforts subsist, activities within GSSS Kankara and other schools in neighboring communities have substantially come to a halt following a directive by the Katsina State government for the schools to shut down. 333 students of the all-boys boarding school in Kankara, Katsina State, could not initially be located following an attack on the school by armed bandits 6 days ago. Governor Aminu Bello Masari joined us live via Zoom from Katsina to speak more on developments in Katsina State. Good evening, Your Excellency.
Hello, good evening.
It is good that contacts have been established with the abductors of the Kankara school boys, but what is the situation at this moment, Your Excellency?
At the moment, 344 of the students have been handed over to security agency. I think we have recovered most of the boys, not all of them. So we are making arrangement to transport them to this night.
And what is the mood in Katsina, particularly Kankara? What confidence will your government give parents, teachers, and residents?
Well, this news is reaching us about an hour ago, and the news has gone out that the children have been discovered unharmed, and all of them are on their way to Katsina this night from the forest area of Zamfara State. And we will, by tomorrow, we will have them medically examined, and arrangements will be on the way to reunite them with their families.
Will the children be released to their parents immediately, Your Excellency?
Of course, immediately after medical examination, we will release them to their parents.
Okay, tell us, Your Excellency, what is your government thinking of doing next, to secure the people, and what lessons have been learned from this very ugly experience?
Well, in the first place, all our boarding schools, we have fenced them and secured them. But what it means now, before school resumes, we must make sure, working with the police and other security agencies, that sufficient armed security are posted to schools. In addition, on our own part, we are going to increase the number of the private security that we employ in each school to make sure that we don't experience what we have experienced in the last 6 days. Certainly, again, we are going to work with the communities that live around the schools to form another outfit of security that will help security agencies in the school and within the school premises to make sure that all is quiet and normal.
Now, in regards to this success already recorded at the moment, what support did you get, from other states and agencies, towards this success recorded?
I think the security agencies, they have done very well. Earlier in the operation, where the children were being kept was discovered, and the whole area was secured and cordoned off by security agencies with the instruction that they should notify a single shop, because we have already established an indirect contact to try to make sure that we secure the release of the children unharmed. We did not advise the security to use any firearms so that there wouldn't be any collateral damage. We thank God that they took our advice and not a single shot was fired. And so far, all the children have been recovered alive.
Okay, so what will be your parting words to the people of Katsina State and indeed Nigeria as regards this experience?
Well, first of all, let me thank and appreciate especially the people of Katsina State and the parents that are directly affected by this unfortunate incident. And the show of solidarity across the country and internationally has been very wonderful. And it showed that we have a common destiny as human beings, that we are concerned to what happened to a fellow human being wherever he is on this planet. In fact, we receive calls internationally. The international media, they have shown keen interest. They have followed every way, every day, every step of the way, following us and the Nigerian press and all others who contributed in no small way in galvanizing support and solidarity with the children, with their parents, with the people and the government of Katsina State. We say thank you. And it shows that the responsibility of security is for all of us. It's not for any agency, either military, police, or government. We are all in this together. So collectively, we must fight this menace. This armed banditry is something that we can overcome, provided we unite, we cooperate, and provide credible information to government and the security agencies. Together, we will salvage and we can work Nigeria to make it work again like it was doing, especially in the area of security.
Your Excellency, we would like to thank you for your time on the news tonight, and good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Let's go to other matters now. The nation may have to go into another round of lockdown, going by the increasing wave of cases of COVID-19 pandemic. Though this is not on the list of measures being considered by members of the National Economic Council, NEC, the Council, however, expressed alarm at the spike in COVID-19 cases in Nigeria and decided to act on the strict enforcement of measures to contain the spread of the disease across the country. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports on the National Economic Council virtual meeting, which held this Thursday.
The National Economic Council received a briefing on the coronavirus pandemic in Nigeria and notes with serious concern the increasing number of cases in many states across the country. Sadly, as the members noted, the country is now experiencing a huge resurgence of COVID-19 patients needing intensive care, and the existing health facilities are fast becoming overwhelmed.
And so if a state decides to take action on lockdown, and he feels that yes, it will be enforced, then the state has also a right to do that. So, but what we did was to go back and still put serious restriction, and then emphasize this issue of risk communication. And so, first of all, is continuous engagement. Otherwise, you remember that we had the lockdowns, and then the effect of the lockdown, but what we saw again in ENSA's protests here and there. So that was why we're not saying that measures may not reach that level, but then before we get that, let that be the last resort.
Members of the council resolved to enlarge its current COVID-19 ad hoc committee led by the governor of Delta State and further mandate the committee to urgently consider and propose additional measures to manage the current situation. Traditional, social and religious leaders are therefore urged to play their own part by promptly taking responsible and decisive actions to help stop the spread and upsurge of the virus in Nigeria.
Act of the abductors as not only criminal and lawless, but a deliberate attempt to sow seeds of fear in people. The members, while supporting immediate steps already taken by the federal government and state governments to rescue the boys, urge for a more effective collaboration between security agencies and the communities to ensure that such despicable acts do not repeat itself anywhere in the country.
Members of the National Economic Council also commiserated with families of the Kankara school boys who were abducted in Katsina State, while also consoling with the entire people and government of the state. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 says there is a growing number of cases requiring hospitalization and the use of ventilators nationwide, while warning Nigerians experiencing symptoms to stay away from the public and self-isolate. Details will come in our bulletin tonight. In view of recent spike in COVID-19, the Federal Ministry of Environment is upscaling the contamination of target areas to contain spread of the virus. Here is Onengia Fiveface with the report. Onengia Fiveface.
National Orientation Agency, Gariba Barry, are among many Nigerians who have tested positive to COVID-19 in the second wave of the virus. Nigeria also recorded its highest daily infection of 930 cases this Wednesday. Concerned about this recent spike in cases, the Federal Ministry of Environment is revamping its strategy of decontamination of public places.
In the whole, maintenance of sterility of premises, containment, dwellings, offices is the main objective of the Ministry's decontamination, disinfection intervention in order for their users to be safeguarded from letting the virus and other microbes into their systems. It is once more necessary to re-echo the need for Nigerian citizens to adhere strictly to the provisions of the COVID-19 control protocol as the main barrier of the virus spread.
The ministry wants Nigerians to take non-pharmaceutical preventive measures more seriously, insisting that only licensed environmental health officers should be engaged for decontamination exercises. In Abuja, Onengia Fiveface, NTA News.
Members of the Committee on the Roles of Traditional Rulers in Governance rose from their meeting in Abuja with a resolve to come up with an acceptable template that will design a constitutional role for them. The Aguma of Basa Turunku Chiefdom, David Wode Tukura, disclosed this shortly after their meeting in Abuja. Anthony Fulson was there.
Under the auspices of the Northern Traditional Rulers Council has Justice Sidi Bagye Mohammed as its chairman and 9 others as members, including Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed. Its mandate, among other things, is to look into ways traditional rulers can be brought into governance to stabilize the polity.
As you all know, we are facing many challenges, and we're working together with the critical stakeholders, the federal government, the state governments, the local governments, in ensuring that the Nigerian polity is given greater stability in light of the many existential challenges facing us right now. But much more importantly, a role in the security architecture of Nigeria to ensure that we do not experience the intelligence hiccups that create the failures that make actions either too late or ineffective.
Debunking the notion that the committee was set up in the aftermath of the Kankara abduction, the Aguma of Basa pointed out that the committee has been in existence before last week's incident, a move that explains their proactive disposition.
This shows you that people have not been sleeping. Brains have been stormed to look for new ways of looking at these issues. We are trying to think outside the box, because this is a time for creative thinking. We cannot be doing the same thing in the same old ways and expect new results. The purpose of this meeting is to look for new ways of doing new things in better ways.
In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Let's turn to the National Assembly, where the House of Representatives is seeking alteration to some constitution provisions pertaining to election of candidates to the offices of the President and state governors. The alteration seeks to address a defect in the Constitution in order to enable elected presidents and governors to retain their seats in circumstances where their running mates are found to have defects in submitted documents and qualifications. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali tells us more.
While debating the general principles of the bill, House members pointed out that it is inconsistent and illogical for an elected president or governor to lose the seat as a result of perjury or perjury by his running mate.
We recently had an experience in one of the states where a candidate for governorship lost his ticket on the basis only of the fact that there was a defect in the documents submitted by his deputy.
The bill passed second reading and was referred to the Constitution Review Committee. Also referred to the Constitution Review Committee is the bill seeking to alter Section 215, which deals with recruitment of police constables and cadets, sponsored by Representative Yusuf Gagdi.
Section B is introduced to the bill that the responsibility for the recruitment of recruit constable into the Nigerian police and recruit cadet into the Nigerian Police Academy should be the duty of the Inspector General of Police.
House members during plenary passed a resolution to investigate alleged killing of 2 men by police personnel in Aguta local government area of Anambra State, as moved by Representative Chinedu Oga. The lawmakers adopted a motion from Representative Bukar Gana urging the federal government to put in place a mechanism of evacuating Nigerians taking refuge in Niger Republic following an attack at the camp sheltering the refugees in the far region, which left scores dead.
If urgent steps are not taken by the federal government, more people may also lose their lives, most importantly, the vulnerable ones and the elderly.
The House approved the report of the Committee on Niger Delta Development Commission's budget of 453.2 billion naira for the year ending March 31st, 2021. At the commencement of plenary, Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila announced the defection of Representative Sam Onuigbo from PDP to APC. Plenary was adjourned to Monday, December 21st. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Congratulatory messages have been pouring in from individuals and organizations, extolling the exemplary virtues and leadership skills of the Nigerian leader as President Muhammadu Buhari turns 78. Here is a compilation of the messages by Elizabeth Omori.
The Federal Executive Council extends warm felicitations to President Muhammadu Buhari on the occasion of his 78th birthday. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, on behalf of members of FEC, prayed that under President Muhammadu Buhari's leadership, Nigeria shall continue to enjoy stability. Senator Lawan, in a message, says he joins family members, friends and associates of the president in rejoicing with him, clocking 78 in good health. In the same vein, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, also sends birthday wishes to President Muhammadu Buhari, applauding his commitment to a better Nigeria. Similarly, the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, joins Nigerians in celebrating the efforts of the president in moving Nigeria forward. Senator Bola Tinubu prays for more prosperous years for the APC party leader. Still on birthday wishes, the Progressive Governors Forum sends warm greetings to President Muhammadu Buhari. In a statement, Chairman of the Forum and Governor of Kebbi State, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, commended President Muhammadu Buhari's leadership, vision and commitment to a united, prosperous Nigeria. And the Northern Governors Forum joins other Nigerians and family of President Muhammadu Buhari to celebrate with him as he marks his 78th birthday. The forum wishes Mr. President good health, joy, and God's protection. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA.
Similarly, the Buhari Media Organization in a congratulatory message says President Buhari has lived a disciplined life and maintained sound integrity that has become the benchmark of expectations of world leaders. The media group prayed God to grant the president long life, wisdom and strength to achieve the greater and blessed country he desires for all Nigerians. Let's have some messages now. We'll be back shortly. Thank you for staying with us on the Network News. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has lauded the emergence of a movie titled The Milkmaid as Nigeria's representative in the international feature film category of the 2021 Oscars. In a statement signed by the Special Assistant of the Minister, Shegu Adeyemi, the Minister said the film is a testament to the progress which the local film industry has made in the areas of professionalism and international competitiveness. He pledged government full support for the Milkmaid's success at the 2021 Oscars and urged all Nigerians to fully support the film's quest for a noteworthy run at the 93rd Oscars. The film, while supremely entertaining, simultaneously sensitizes and facilitates insights into the predicament of victims of insurgency, especially women and children. Megatari International Market bubbles with excitement and in trading activities this Thursday as buyers and sellers from both Nigeria and the Niger Republic express great joy as the federal government reopens the international border. Abdullahi Garba Kudu, just back from the border town, has the situation report.
The Megatari land border between Nigeria and the Niger Republic is one of the 4 locations approved for reopening by the Federal Executive Council with immediate effect. Coincidentally, Thursday is a business day for the Megatari International Market that attracts traders from within and beyond Nigeria.
At the time of NTA News crew visit to Megatari International Market, the border remains closed. This is because they are waiting for official communication directing them to open the border. Meanwhile, people from Niger Republic are taking advantage of the porous nature of the place and coming into Megatari International Market to do their businesses. They are expressing happiness over the directive by President Muhammadu Buhari that the border be reopened.
Malan Isa is a Nigerian that trades in camels and could not hide his feelings over the development.
When
the body country enter and buy goods from us and them buy from us, that is exchange of money, exchange of goods, and it will bring development.
But as the residents enthuse over the border reopening, many sounded these words of caution.
The government must intensify effort, particularly the security agents of the government, to intensify effort. What type of goods is coming across the border? What type of item? Because people will seize the opportunity again, on the other hand, to use the opening of the order to bring in arms, which they kill a hell of people.
The federal government closed all Nigerian land borders in August 2019 to save the economy and achieve other security reasons. From Megatari in Jigawa State, Abdullahi Garba Burnukudu, NTA News.
Brentex Petroleum Services Limited and the China Petroleum Pipeline Engineering Company Limited, CPP, one of the consortia executing the federal government's Abuja Kaduna Kano AKK gas pipeline project, has pledged to deliver the project on schedule and within cost. Executive Vice Chairman Brentex and the CPP Consortium Sani Abubakar made this commitment at an inspection visit by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Timothy Silva, and the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation NNPC, Mele Kiari. Lydia Sampson reports.
Receiving the ministers and the GMD at the Brentex CCP pipeline stockyard in Ankandi, Kaduna State, Abubakar said the consortium has increased the momentum of work on its segment of the project. He assured Nigerians that Brentex will live up to expectations by delivering the project on time.
Voluntarily, as our social responsibility, we desire to put in place what we call Pipeline Academy that will afford Nigerians in particular and hopefully Africans the opportunity to learn about pipeline construction, not just welding, more and more. We shall have 3 of these facilities along the corridor. We shall have one just after Zaria, accommodating the same number, 600 personnel. Then just by the TGS in Kano, we shall have another one making 3.
According to him, all through the construction phase of the project, there will be activities stretching the pipeline construction to the extent of 50 kilometers either side of the operations. He said at the end, the consortium shall arrive 316 kilometers of 40-inch gas pipeline connecting the project at Sarkin Power in Niger State and delivering gas to Kaduna all the way to Kano. Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
It is a new dawn for manufacturing industries in Kano as Greenville Liquefied Natural Gas Company Limited takes its products to corporations at a subsidized rate to cushion production costs and enhance efficiency. This is with the inauguration of stations and customer sites in Kano. Awal Salisu reports that a number of industries in the commercial nerve center of northern Nigeria has keyed into the initiative as an alternative source of energy that is cost-effective.
The Greenville Liquefied Natural Gas Company is the first firm in Nigeria to bring natural gas to manufacturing industries in the northern Nigeria, in addition to those in southern part of the country. The leading company has a fleet of cryogenic tankers that supply the liquefied natural gas to customers even at remote locations. The use of liquefied natural gas has over the years reduced operating costs significantly compared to diesel and helped in checking carbon emission in Nigeria. The inauguration of customer sites in Kano is therefore to increase power generation through the supply of liquefied natural gas to ensure uninterrupted power supply to factories as an alternative to using costly and non-friendly fuel that causes hazard to the environment.
This alone, as a project, has created so many opportunities. You can see industries are already springing up next to it because they are able to deliver gas cheaper, they are able to deliver power cheaper. And that we are expecting that a lot of employment will be created from this.
The North will strive again, and we, as you can see, we have opened 2 projects in 1 year. This is why, because of the LNG. So it will be sustainable. We can see they're more interested than us to make it move, and this is the first time it happens.
It's more cheaper and more effective, and even the federal government is ready to assist on this area.
With the introduction of liquefied natural gas in Kano, it is expected to create a balance on energy price between the pipeline-connected areas and other parts of the country. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
Now to the oil industry, where OPEC Secretary General Mohammed Sanusi Barakindo says OPEC is supportive of measures to improve data transparency, particularly through its proactive role in Joint Organization's Data Initiative, JODI. OPEC Secretary General, who joined the International Energy Charter virtual conference in Baku, said OPEC Secretariat organizes many meetings with its partners to address the issue of data and transparency. OPEC Secretary General said Azerbaijan has been a pivotal member of the Declaration of Cooperation document since its inception in 2016. President Aliyev, Barakin said, was the first world leader to publicly call upon OPEC and non-OPEC to collaborate to rescue the oil industry. Now, in spite of all efforts to level the rate of maternal and perinatal deaths in Nigeria, statistics from the National Demographic Health Survey 2018 reveals that the graph has continued to climb. It has become a major concern for the National Assembly as the Senate is considering a bill that seeks to reverse the trend through effective surveillance. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko reports.
The current maternal and neonatal ratios of 512 deaths per 100,000 and 39 deaths per 1,000 live births by the National Demographic and Health Survey is unacceptable by the Senate. Recognizing government's efforts towards tackling these health issues, the bill sponsored by Senator Ibrahim Oloriegbe, which has passed second reading, is to assist in providing for effective surveillance, review and prevention of maternal and perinatal deaths.
Nigeria does not have unified data for the surveillance of maternal death to track causes of this death and subsequently prevent it.
This death affects the poor primarily, and as we are all seated here, we all have the poor in our constituencies.
Second reading taken and the bill is referred to the Committee on Health to report back within 4 weeks.
The bill sponsored by Senator Yusuf on the National Tea and Coffee Development Council Establishment Bill passed second reading. The Nigerian Arabic Language Village Establishment Bill by Senator Kashim Shettima and the Federal Orthopedic Hospital Kuta Establishment Bill by Senator Sani Musa also passed second reading.
The Council will be the catalyst for tea and coffee growth and development by providing technical, managerial, and horticultural extension services, among other things.
This bill is a response to the cries of my constituents, especially those in densely populated areas whose daily watch helplessly their wards suffer pains due to lack of well-equipped orthopedic hospitals.
The conference report of the Senate Committee on Finance on the 2021 to 2023 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper was approved. Senate has confirmed 8 persons for appointment as members of the Governing Council of the Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, with Joseph Thafa Itiaf as chairman and Abubakar Ahmed Yelwa as managing director. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nko, NTA News.
A report just coming in now says President Muhammadu Buhari is reassuring the nation that his administration will not leave anything to chance until all Nigerians still in captivity regain freedom and reunite with their families. The president said this while speaking to NTA State House correspondent Adamu Sambo shortly after the release of the abducted students of Government Science Secondary School Kankara in Katsina State. Now, the National Pharmaceutical Research and Development has received research equipment worth 5.88 billion naira to further give impetus to Nigeria's development of nanotechnology in medicine for the cure of tropical diseases, especially COVID-19. This was disclosed during the 24th meeting of the board of the institute and tour of the facilities. Chimobi Walter Nachi was there and now reports.
A vaccine for the coronavirus has been a running battle between countries' scientists and researchers racing against time to find a cure for the global pandemic that has ravaged many countries and economies. Nigeria, through the National Pharmaceutical Research and Development, has taken the research to a next level with the receipt of equipment worth 5.88 billion naira from an international partner. The Research Institute, before now, has developed various drugs which are at different stages of certification. But with this equipment, the institution says research into use of nanomedicine technology would have gone beyond what it is now, but for the interference by the COVID-19 lockdown around the world.
Because there are centers across Africa that are into nanotechnological activities.
In CSR, you will see they are good in material sciences. In DG, you will see that they are good in agriculture, nanotechnology application in agriculture. There's no center in Africa that is dedicated to nanomedicine. And so we are the first in Africa to be fully dedicated to nanomedicine development.
A lot of drugs, particularly the extracts from plants, solubility and delivery and distribution is a very big problem.
The board also took a tour of the Information and Technology Center for Improvement in Artificial Intelligence, Internet of Things, and Fourth Industrial Revolution in Pharmaceutical Interventions.
Before COVID hit the shores of Nigeria, NIPRID had begun to engage the CBN as well as other such developmental bodies.
The facility tour is part of activities to mark the one-year anniversary of the appointment of the governing board of the institute. In Abuja, Chimubi Walter Naji, NTA News.
Let's now bring in our guest, Dr. John Alpha. He is the chairman, governing board, National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development. Good evening and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Tell us more about this multi-billion-naira equipment. In which ways will it help in research for solutions to tropical diseases in our country?
Thank you, Kenneth, for having me here. And I want to thank the management of NTA, the Director General, for this privilege of being here and to enlighten Nigeria on this huge grant that we have had. It's actually a Japanese grant, and as you largely mentioned, it's 5.88 billion. It will revolutionize research in Nigeria, particularly at NIPRID. We have key equipments that have been brought in. Some of them have been installed, and some are yet to be installed. We have, for now, the grant, which is on the premise of one of the professors in NIPRID, which is Professor Martin Semeje. It came in for 3 thematic areas, which is malaria, tuberculosis, and also diabetes. But in addition to that, it can also be used for research in the area of the search for COVID-19 remedies. And so the equipment are top range. We have a nanonizer, we have differential scanning calorimetry, we have scanning electron microscope, and so many of the top range equipment. These equipment are able to help in fast-tracking drug discovery, particularly at the nano level. Okay. And as I explained today earlier, the nanotechnology is something that is a technology that can help in target drug delivery. And the nanoparticles help in carrying, it's as vehicle, in carrying drug moiety. And extracts are very troublesome in terms of solubility and distribution. And that is where this one is very key to us.
All right, tell us, are there other collaboration with international bodies in this regard?
Well, if we say in this regard, none.
Okay.
But of course, but we also have WAHU, which is which is also collaborating with NIPRID with respect to the clinical trial of NIPRIMUNE developed by NIPRID for purpose of using it in COVID-19. We have a lot of proposals that have been made to international bodies, but we are yet to also see the kind of result that we are getting from these grants that has come in. So it's a work in progress.
Thank you very much for coming on the news tonight. That's Dr. John Alpha, Chairman, Governing Board, National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development. Now, let's bring you the report on the PTF on COVID-19 conference earlier today.
For the first time since March, the chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, is absent at the national briefing. This follows his decision to self-isolate and monitor the national briefing after some members of his family tested positive for COVID-19, even though he and his wife tested negative. Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika, who stood in for the PTF chairman, says the country is in a difficult phase of COVID-19 resurgence.
Lives have been lost, still being lost, but we must slow down the pace of the spread.
If we include those who are in hospital with severe symptoms for being observed, the need for more hospital beds will become acute. And this is an indication of what the second wave is.
If you have symptoms of COVID, please do not enter public transport. Please do not come into office. One of the commonest symptoms we have been seeing is that of a loss of smell. So if you cannot smell your perfume and you've had a cold, then you probably need to have a test done.
The PTF notes that the current surge in cases calls for attitudinal change among Nigerians and the need to intensify protective measures.
Every gathering has a leader, every office has a leader, every church has a leader, every restaurant has an owner. It is really the responsibility of these leaders to ensure that these non-pharmaceutical interventions that we've been talking about are implemented.
In the coming days, some major decisions will be made public by the task force in consultation with President Buhari to slow down community transmission of COVID-19. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Michael in Lagos is set with other reports from there. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Kene. In response to the changing dynamics of insecurity prevalent in the maritime sector, the Nigerian Navy has continued to build its capacity to address illegalities and crimes hampering economic prosperity. This was re-emphasized at the closing ceremony of the annual sea inspection exercise Sea Waters. Dotun Ogunyemi has the reports.
After spending 4 days at sea, simulating several exercises designed to equip personnel of the Nigerian Navy with skills needed to combat illegalities and criminalities on the Nigerian territorial waters, the participating ships are now coming back to harbor, where they will be debriefed. It is a warm welcome for the vessels and personnel as NNS of Pabana, the lead ship for the exercise, is docked and ropes secured. The main issues that capture the essence of the exercise are, however, to be discussed in this hall, where commanding officers of participating ships, SPS commander, and helicopter pilots are gathered to be debriefed.
The fact that throughout the exercise, no criminal element was arrested showed that the exercise on its part has achieved its deterrence value. And what that means is whoever is a criminal in our waters, they are now aware that the Nigerian Navy is ready in all respect to combat all sorts of illegalities in our waters.
A total of 7 helicopter landings were successfully carried out throughout the period of the exercise, where several simulations such as oil rig protection, anti-piracy, search and rescue, as well as fleet maneuvers were conducted. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
The Controller General of Customs Strike Force Team Zone A has intercepted contrabands and raised income on underdeclared cargo worth 1.5 billion naira within 2 months. The seized items include more than 1,200 bags of foreign rice, which the coordinator Amadou Bello Shuaibu noted are impediments to the country's quest for economic growth. Intelligence gathering and surveillance strategy are assisting the Nigerian Customs Service in fulfilling its mandate of nipping smuggling in the bud. These tactics led to the seizure of these 30,256 pieces of foreign bags with duty-paid value of more than 500 million naira. The items were recovered at a warehouse in Lagos after evading checks at the seaports.
We are out to ensure that restiveness is eliminated. By so doing, seizing this type of things, our youth will be employed so long as all efforts are geared towards local industries.
False declaration of items is a punishable offense in the anti-smuggling law. And to drive home this message, these 564 bales of textile materials were intercepted based on what the customs described as an attempt to compromise the payment of the actual duty fees.
I believe once these things are made dutiable, they will not even bring them in. So we have to send that message. We need honest declaration. Everybody should be nationalistic in thinking.
Achieving the seizure within 2 months is a feat the Comptroller General of Customs Strike Force Team Zone A insists will be backed up with rigorous compliance until the index shows a sharp decline in smuggling activities. This is NTA Network News. More reports with Kenne shortly after this break. Please stay tuned.
The death has been announced of a renowned scholar and educationist, Professor Obioha Chima Nwanna. Aged 36, Professor Nwanna died recently in USA after a brief illness. While he was alive, Professor Nwanna served the country meritoriously as a teacher, principal of schools and lecturer in many universities, especially Ibadan and Nsukka. He also served the international community as visiting scholar to foreign institutions, as well as consultant to UNICEF, UNESCO and the World Bank research educational reforms. Professor O.C. Nwanna also served the nation as chairman or member of boards of key federal institutions, including JAMB, WAEC, National Teachers Institute, and the Nigerian Education Research and Development Council. Burial of Professor O.C. Nwanna takes place in his hometown, Arondizuogo, Imo State, on Friday, 18th of this month, after commendation service. He is survived by his wife, Professor Chinyere Nwanna, children including Mr. Obioha Nwanna and Chima, an Abuja-based legal practitioner. We'll now take a look at the weather report for Friday.
Welcome to the weather forecast for Friday. Dust haze condition is expected over the north and central parts of the country. However, poor visibility is in the range of 1 to 3 kilometers and localized visibility of less than 1,000 meters anticipated over the north, while the north central should have visibilities in the range of 2 to 5 kilometers throughout the day. The southern cities are expected to be hazy with patches of clouds, but there are slim prospects of morning thunderstorms over parts of Bayelsa Rivers and Cross River. Later in the day, few thunderstorms are anticipated over parts of Lagos, Ogun, Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, Imo, Cross River, and Akwa Ibom. Till you join us again, I am Theodora Itzum, and thank you for watching.
And we'd like to thank you for watching the NTA Network News tonight. My name is Kenan Ima Abodike. Do have a pleasant night.